Hi there. Welcome back to Children Wisconsin's ongoing live Q&A series. My name's Dustin, and today we're talking about child passenger safety. I'm joined with two members of our injury prevention team here at Children's Wisconsin, whose focus and expertise is on child passenger safety. We have Nick Maniaci, who is an injury prevention coordinator and child safety technician, and Ashley Cleary, who's also an injury prevention coordinator and child passenger safety technician. Nick and Ashley are joining us here today to take your questions, which we'll be answering towards the end of this broadcast, along with sharing some tips and tricks they have for parents when it comes to keeping your child as safe as possible in your vehicle. We encourage you to leave your questions as a comment, and we'll answer one submitted during the live broadcast at the end of it. If you're not watching us live, no problem. Please leave your question in a comment anyways, and we'll follow up with you directly there. Nick and Ashley, thank you both again for joining us today. I'd like to start by having you both introduce yourselves and your roles on the Children's Wisconsin team.
Thanks for having us, Dustin. So my name is Nick Maniaci, and I'm an injury prevention coordinator and child passenger safety technician at Children's Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Ashley. Thank you for joining us again. I'm an injury prevention coordinator and child passenger safety technician here at Children's Wisconsin.
Great, thank you both. So my first question is going to be kind of broad, but I think it's important to set this foundation. Can one of you kind of explain exactly what child passenger safety entails and covers, and what is a child passenger safety technician?
Yeah, so child passenger safety is basically making sure that children are riding safely and correctly in vehicles using car seats, booster seats, and seat belts. A child passenger safety technician is an expert who has been certified to help caregivers properly install their car seats and booster seats in their vehicles. A surprising fact a lot of people don't know is that we have over 670 child passenger safety technicians in Wisconsin.
And those are individuals that are outside of just Children's Wisconsin, correct?
Correct. Yep, they're located all throughout the state.
Awesome. So car seats. As we can see with you right now, Nick, there's a number of different makes and models, much like cars, but there are a few general types. Can you outline the difference between each of those general types?
Yeah, so I'd be happy to go over that. So there are a bunch of different types of car seats. So today I will go over all the basic car seats that you would see if you were to visit your local Target or Walmart. So first, I will start with the car seat over here. So this car seat right here is a rear-facing infant-only car seat, which means it can only be used in the rear-facing position. Many times this is the first type of car seat that parents will buy for their child because it also serves as an infant carrier, and it can be released from the base and parents can carry their child in it, which is really convenient. And then next up, we have a convertible car seat. This can be used in both the rear-facing and forward-facing position. And the difference with this is that there's a little bar on the bottom of the car seat that can be flipped either way. And based on which way it's flipped, that will determine the direction of the vehicle. So this is the next one. And then we have a combination car seat, which, okay, I think Dustin cut out, but I'll keep going. So this one's the convertible car seat, and this can be used in the forward-facing position. It can be used with the harness, and then once that child outgrows the harness, it can be used specifically as a high back booster. And then the last type of car seat or booster seat parents will see is this no back booster seat. And this can be used in Okay, I think I cut out for the last one. So this is the no back booster, and this can be used in a vehicle as long as there's a headrest.
I think we might have missed the combination car seat as well. Can you explain that last one too?
Yeah, so this is the combination car seat. This can be used in the forward-facing position with the harness, and once that child outgrows that harness height or weight, then it can be used as a high back booster. And then up after that is that no back booster seat.
Okay. Can you explain a little bit about how a parent or caregiver would know when their child is ready for their next car seat?
Yeah, so here at Children's Wisconsin, we do go by
Oh, looks like we're back.
Okay, so here at Children's Wisconsin, we do go by safest practice, so that's what I will be going over. So for a rear-facing car seat such as this one, a child should remain rear-facing until they're at least 2 years old, and as long as they're within the weight and height requirements of that car seat. Many times the next step after they outgrow this infant-only car seat is to move on to this convertible car seat and use it in that rear-facing position. What's great about the convertible is that a child can remain rear-facing longer because it has higher weight and height requirements, which ultimately allows them to stay rear-facing longer, which is the goal. After they outgrow that rear-facing, then the child would transition to that forward-facing seat, and they should remain in that forward-facing position until they're at least 4 years old and 40 pounds, and as long as they're within the weight and height requirements. So a lot of times you keep hearing me say as long as they're within the weight and height requirements. So you can find that information on the side of the car seat in the label, and it will talk about what the maximum weight and heights are, and that's really how long you should leave your child in there, because that's how long the seat is designed to hold your child. Then after they graduate from the forward-facing car seat, then they would be in a booster seat. And a child should remain in that booster seat until they're at least 4 feet 9 inches tall and can pass the 5-step test. So that 5-step test, I'll go over the 5 steps. Step 1 is making sure that the child can sit in a vehicle seat with their back touching the seat. Step 2 is making sure that their knees bend comfortably at the edge of the vehicle seat. Step 3 is making sure that that shoulder belt falls between the neck and the shoulder and lies flat. Step 4 is making sure that the lap belt lies flat over the top of the child's thighs. And step 5 is making sure that they can sit straight without slouching. It's important that the child is at least 4 foot 9 and can pass that 5-step test before they sit without a booster seat. And as a reminder, children should remain in that back seat until they're at least 13 years old.
Okay, that was really helpful. So let's shift right now to some more general tips and tricks for caregivers when it comes to car seats. Ashley, I know you're in our demonstration space. Can you walk us through some of the common tips and tricks your team has for caregivers?
Thanks, Dustin. I know sometimes it can be challenging to install car seats as there's different ways to install. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to install some car seats and provide you some tips to hopefully make installation a little bit easier for you. Today, I'm going to be demonstrating on 2 infant-only rear-facing car seats. First, you want to pull the seatbelt all the way and feed it through the belt path. And buckle it in. Now you're going to make sure that there's no twist in the seatbelt. In most vehicles, when you pull the seatbelt all the way out, it locks, making a clicking noise. This keeps the car seat in place. Now what you need to do is tighten the car seat and the seatbelt. To make it easier for you, I recommend pushing down on the seat and pulling the shoulder belt towards you. Always pull it towards you. Now you're going to check at the belt path for tightness. You want the seat to not move more than 1 inch side to side or front to back. If your seat is moving more than 1 inch, what I recommend is pushing down and pulling just a little bit more slack up. So that's how you install an infant base using the seatbelt. Some car seats are equipped with what we call a lock-off. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to feed the seatbelt through the belt path and buckle it in, making sure that there's no twist or gaps in the seatbelt. But this seat, in replace of pulling the seatbelt all the way out, I'm just going to push down and hear the click, and the lock-off will actually be the locking method. So I'm testing for tightness. The seat is not moving more than 1 inch side to side or front to back. So that's installing with lock-offs. Some car seats also, most car seats I should say, are equipped with what we call lower anchors. Lower anchors clip on to bars in your vehicle. You may need to feel for the metal bars, and some cars have little buttons above where the lower anchors are. So the lower anchors would hook onto that bar on both sides, and then you would close the seat, the lock off. Most vehicles are equipped with lower anchors in the back seat on the passenger side and the driver's side, but never in or not in the middle seat. Never use lower anchors and the seatbelt together unless the manual says to do so. For children who are riding, who are a little bit older and ride forward facing, make sure that you clip on the tether clip to your vehicle's tether bars. There should be a picture on the screen to show you what an example of that would look like for some vehicles. Remember to replace car seats that have been in a crash, recalled, or expired. Car seats do have expiration dates. They typically expire between 6 and 10 years, depending on the manufacturer and the type of seat. You can find the expiration date on the registration card that comes with your car seat, in the manual, or on the white manufacturing label located on the shell of your car seat. Always check your car seat and vehicle's owner's manual for the correct way to use and install your car seat and where your lower anchors and tether anchor hooks are. We do have child passenger safety technicians on staff to help install and help you answer any questions specific to your child's car seat.
Awesome. So obviously, that can be a little intense for a parent or caregiver that is unfamiliar with a car seat or it's their first time experiencing it. And sometimes the instruction manuals, as helpful and important as they are, can be a little intimidating as well. So what other resources do we have available for parents and caregivers when it comes to ensuring that they're using their car seats for their children as correctly and safely as possible?
Children's Wisconsin is currently offering virtual car seat appointments to help caregivers install their car seats and answer any specific questions for their child's car seat. You can visit our website, childrenswi.org/car seat, or call Central Scheduling at 414-607-5280 to schedule a virtual car seat appointment with us. We also have educational videos and teaching sheets available on our website to help answer caregivers' questions.
Thank you both so much. We're now going to tackle some audience questions that had come through during this live broadcast. And remember, even if you're not joining us live, please leave your questions in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. The first question that we had come through was, how long should you keep the top portion on the booster seat for?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So there's two different types of booster seats. You have the high back booster seat, which has that back portion, and then you have the no back booster seat without it. Both are technically allowed to be used by a child as long as they're at least at 4 years old and 40 pounds. Some of them you're able to remove the back and others you're not. So the difference, if you buy a high back booster where it's kind of all one piece, like this car seat is, like you cannot remove it, you would have to use the seat as is. And some added benefits of having that high back is that if the child falls asleep, it's extra kind of padding and protection on their head so they can lay down and they're not falling out of the seatbelt. So that's kind of some of the benefits of having that high back booster, and it just provides a little bit more support for the child. Whereas the no back, I'd recommend for a little bit older child who still is requiring a booster seat. It really just kind of boosts them up and make sure that the lap and shoulder belt is fitting them properly. So I guess to answer the question, if you can remove the back of the booster seat, I would do it when you feel like your child is mature enough and doesn't really need that extra support. But if your child is one to sleep in the car a lot or is constantly trying to move around and get out of their seatbelts, I would probably leave it on because it just provides that little bit extra support for the child.
Great. So our second question that came through is, which way should a car seat face for a 2-year-old?
So this is always kind of a tough question just because they're kind of right at that age where they could go forward facing. So we recommend at least until that age of 2, but longer. So as I said before, if you're using that convertible car seat, they're usually able to remain in that rear facing position longer than the age of 2. So I would say if you're using a convertible seat, I would leave them rear facing longer as long as the seat allows. So make sure once again you check the side for the weight and the height. And as long as they're within both the weight and the height for the rear facing mode, I would leave them rear facing until they reach that max weight and height, and then I would switch them around. I feel like one way that we try to explain it to caregivers is every time you switch the type of car seat that you're using, it when you go from rear facing to forward facing to booster, you kind of remove a layer of protection in a sense, because rear facing, it kind of cradles the child if you were to get into an accident. Forward facing, you only have the harness kind of holding them back. And then booster seat, you just have the 2 points on a seatbelt. So I try to explain it to parents, like each phase, next phase of car seat kind of removes one extra layer of protection. So leave them in those positions as long as possible, as long as that seat allows.
Another question that came in is one that might not be pertinent for this discussion, but is it possible that a vehicle might actually have a tether in the middle seat of a car if it's a newer, more modern vehicle?
Absolutely. So I think there might be some confusion on this question. So top tethers, usually all 3 seating positions in the back have that tether anchor for the top part of your car. Now, with lower anchors, what I was kind of talking about is some vehicles will have it in the middle seat, but most of the time the middle seat is not big enough to have the lower anchor capabilities. So the lower anchors are the ones that go in the crease of the vehicle seat and usually are on the passenger and driver side of the back row. And then for forward facing, the tether is usually in all of the seating positions in newer vehicles, correct?
Gotcha. And then each vehicle's instruction manual should probably have reference in a section to car seat functionality and where those tethers are as well.
Yeah.
Another question, and thank you all for submitting questions, keep them coming, that just came through was, how does the cost of a car seat impact its performance, if at all?
I can take this, Ashley, if you want. So all car seats pass the same exact standards, the crash test standards. So it doesn't matter if you have a $100 car seat or $500 car seat, they all have to pass the same exact crash test standards. I would say some of the more expensive ones may just have some additional features or padding or just some extra safety things, such as rebound bars or a little bit extra side impact crash protection. But like I said, all of them are tested equally and they all have to pass the same exact standards.
Ooh. That sounded very similar in some ways to what we experience with general cars and car safety as well, that there's some minimum standards that cars have to accomplish and pass the same safety standards, but the more pricey and more expensive a particular car is, there might be some more additional safety functionality above and beyond the minimum expectations.
Correct.
Okay. Well, again, thank you both so much. Before I completely wrap up for us here, I wanted to give you both an opportunity to say some closing words to our audience.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for joining this Facebook Live, and I really hope that we were able to provide you with some helpful information on car and booster seats. If you have additional questions, reach out to that email or phone number, as Ashley stated before, and we'd be happy to answer them for you. So thanks.
Thank you for joining us. And remember, all of our available resources that we talked about can be found on our website, childrenswi.org/car seat.
So as we say goodbye today, and before we have another technical interruption, I want to thank both Nick and Ashley for joining us. And thank you, our audience. If we didn't get to your question or you have a question and you're not viewing us live, please leave it and we'll make every effort to answer it. Remember, we have a ton of information, tips, tricks, and more on our website as it relates to child passenger safety and car seats. Just head over, as Ashley said, to childrenswi.org/car seat. And if you want to schedule a free Sorry about that. If you want to schedule a free virtual car seat check with our team, call us to make your appointment at 414-607-5280, and our team will walk you through all the questions and concerns you may have over your particular car seat. Thank you all for joining us. Ashley, Nick, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dustin.
Bye.